I went up to Canada for 5 days and I got to see firsthand exactly how the guys from Southland Trailers builds everything from cargo trailers to dump trailers. And it's an amazing story, and I'm the first person ever that got to film their process. And I'm going to show you exactly what that is. But before we do that, I want to show you one of their bigger trailers that they built. Let's hook her up. Let's hook her up. So are you telling me your company that makes cargo trailers makes that?
That's it. You know, the same one that makes the dump trailer that you've got, we make that one side by side. You'll see it.
Inside the same factory?
Same factory. So 30-foot end dump, the same, you know, the front hoist. Like, we're good at scissor hoist and we're good at front telescopic. We've used them both. Some have different applications in different situations. This is the right application for a 3-story dump truck.
First night I got up to Canada, I was eating dinner with the guys from Southland Trailer, and they just told me a story about one of their customers sent them a picture of one of their trailers flipped upside down in a ditch. A big gust of wind hit him when he was going down one of those Canadian roads and just took the trailer right off from his truck, rolled it into a ditch, and it bounced off a big concrete bullyard, you know, basically a big concrete pillar. And all the guy had to do was flip it back over, hook it up to his truck, pound out a couple dents, and it went down the road. So I said, well, I'm not gonna try to flip it off a truck at 60 miles an hour, but why don't we just roll one all the way over? And they just said, yeah, let's do it. They didn't know what was gonna happen, and neither did I. So let's just see how this thing went. One more time. All right, let's hook her up and roll her down the road.
Quick walk around here.
A little bit more. The body is just perfectly fine. There's not a dent on that body, other than the fenders. All right, guys, I'm with my buddy Trevor from Southland. You guys probably remember that dump trailer I got from Canada. Well, I'm back up in Canada. How are you?
Welcome to Canada, Stan. It's good to see you, man.
Thank you. So what did we just see?
You know, we were just demonstrating the strength of a cargo trailer. That's all we wanted was, you know, how tough is it? Do we build things a little bit different than everybody else? Yeah, we sure do. Like you saw in the dump trailer, it's just different. We just watched us rolling over a little cargo trailer, and it doesn't matter the size of the cargo trailer you buy or the amount of money that you're going to spend on it. The nuts and the bolts on the inside of the trailer are the same. The frame, everything about it is the same. Tube steel across the floor, the main rails, the cross members, the walls, the uprights, the ceiling, tube steel. 4 pieces of steel is better than 2 or 3.
So you're telling me that if I buy a $2,500 Southland cargo trailer or a $40,000 Southland cargo trailer, I'm getting the same exact build quality, there's no change?
100%. Yeah.
Okay, so can you actually show me how you can build a trailer that can be rolled over 4 times and then hooked up down the road without anything other changes?
Yeah.
Can you bring me inside and show me the magic behind the manufacturing?
100%.
All right, let's go do it.
We'll see how it's done.
All right, so we're inside now, Trevor. Can you explain how you guys can build a trailer that you can roll over 4 times and drive away?
Yeah, this is exactly where all the magic happens. And I can't say this enough. We don't have one process for one trailer and then a smaller trailer. You skimp on the process. All of these trailers, regardless of their size, regardless of how much you're going to spend on them, they're all identical. You know, we've got the little ones and we've got big ones. So here's a bigger car hauler. We're 24 feet of car hauler. Then there's a cargo trailer behind me, and they're put together the very same way. So a 2x8 tube steel, just like your dump trailer, the main rails underneath that are tube, HSS, hollow structural section tube steel. It doesn't twist. It's not going to bend or flex. It's the strength behind it. Then we add the tube cross members, 2x2 inch tube cross members. Then the wall uprights and the ceiling, all tube steel. One of the big advantages, again, is the enclosed wiring. Remember, underneath your dump trailer, there's no wires. Here, the electrical is going to run through the tube, and then it's going to up through the wall, and then drop down for the fender marker lights and the tail lights at the back, as well as the interior lights. Everything is enclosed, nothing underneath. no extra wires hanging out to get in the way. Now, part of the enclosed wiring is you'll see way up here at the top, there's two tubes. There's a header piece of this wall, and that piece is where the electrical runs in. So the header of the wall holds the electrical, then the roof is attached to that. So I've got two 1x1s welded together. That gives me an incredible amount, you know this, putting two together as opposed to just one is so much stronger. I've got the strength at the top where it's gonna twist and flex. I've taken care of that. I've taken care of all the twisting and the flexing in the floor as well. And then extra details, like these welded flanges. You can see this right here. Right here, an extra welded flange on the bottom and inside here. We've added that to make sure that I've got my rigidity. If we're ever going to put in a floor tie down in a car hauler, again, another welded plate to make sure that we've got something to bolt that to, not just into the plywood, but nailed into something solid. So this has got to last you. You bought this trailer, you've invested in it, and you want it to last, and you want to be able to hook up and just go and get something done. And if it did happen to roll over 4 times, you just hook it up behind your truck and keep going.
Okay, so you guys also do something a little different with your paint though as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. A little bit different, just like your dump trailer, we don't powder coat. At Southland, it's wet paint. And if powder coating was a good idea, we said this before, if powder coating was a good idea, your truck would be powder coated.
So you
Wet
use
paint.
a similar process that Ford
Just like
uses
automotive.
when they paint their trucks.
Yeah.
They're not powder coating their trucks. You're not powder coating your trailers.
The first thing we need to do to the steel, to prep the steel, is to give it this profile. You can feel that, Stan. This is a rough, kind of like a nail file, an emery board. You know, it's a rough finish on it. If the steel was smooth, the paint would just peel right off. But we have to rough it up first. We actually audit this, the peaks and the valleys. We audit that so we have the correct, the height, the mill build on this thing, the profile, so that the paint can stick to it and saturate. I'll show you this.
So, if I understand this correctly, if it's too smooth, the paint
peels right off, just like
off.
saran wrap. Yep.
And if it's too rough, you're going to see the tops. So you actually audit it. So you actually go through with a tool and you make sure that it's absolutely right.
We audit it wet and dry.
So you do 2 audits.
So when it's wet, you check it to see what it's like going on wet, because you're going to lose some as it's drying. It's going to shrink down. And then we audit it again afterwards to make sure that we have the right amount of paint on the trailer.
What do you use though?
So while we're here, so this is where our shot happens. This is our steel shot. So not sand, but steel. We control and we can regulate the grit of this, and we blast it through. The guys are in here in their hazmat suit, guys and ladies. The team members in here in their hazmat, and they're blasting and prepping the steel. So the steel is prepped. We audit that before the paint process goes on. And the paint is a wonderful mixture. It's wet paint plus the additives into it that get sprayed on to this steel, audited, and then we can even warranty.
But now you do something special from that point, and I think that's where we got to bring in.
Electrostatic is crazy. Tyson, have a look at this.
All right, guys, this is Tyson. He controls this whole department of the shop. Is that right,
That's
Tyson?
correct, yeah.
Okay, so tell me about this. What is it?
Electrostatic paint process.
Okay, electrostatic paint.
So what it is we electrically charge the trailer with 2 grounds in the paint booth, and when we spray it with the gun, it creates a positive charge which wraps around our steel, and it's able to get in all those little nooks and crannies that you wouldn't regularly be able to get into with just like an automatic, your person spraying it by hand. So a lot of little cracks and crevices that we need to get into, and with this process we're able to get right into those spots without having to.
Let's break that down though. Let's break that down. You actually stick a clamp.
Yep.
You bring these trailers into this booth right here. You stick a clamp onto one side of the trailer and a clamp on the other side of the trailer, and then that creates a negative ground.
Yep.
And then as the paint's coming out of the gun, it's getting positively charged. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So when it comes out of the gun, out of the tip, there's actually a little wire on the end of the tip of the gun that charges that paint before it comes out of the gun. So when it's going through the paint lines and going through the booth, nothing's left electrically charged. As soon as they pull that trigger and that paint starts coming out of the tip of the gun, then it charges it right out of the tip as it goes around the trailer.
So if I understand this correctly, it's like creating a magnetic bond, right? So that paint just wants to
right on
stick
there.
right to it, but that'll also go around all of those crevices and get in there, so a guy doesn't, you don't have to depend on a guy flat painting it. That paint's going to automatically go around and grab everywhere that it possibly can.
You bet.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we're standing on the outside of the trailer here and I was painting here, I wouldn't have to go inside of this trailer to paint it, because if I'm here, the paint is wrapping around it and actually painting the backside. So,
I want to see the audit process.
the audit process?
I want to see how you actually audit it. I want to see it.
Okay, so after we paint, our painters will come, we'll go down to the finish line here, we'll show you one that just came out of the booth.
Okay.
Once the trailer comes out of the booth, we'll have our painters come and they have a standard mill gauge, wet mill gauge test, and they'll come test every little point.
Where is it?
I'll have one on.
Mike, you got one? Trevor, you got one?
Here we go. This is a wet mill gauge reader. And as we put it on the trailer, in our areas where it's hidden, we'll show our paint ratios. So that's 6.5 mils. It's a little higher than normal, but we go through every trailer. There we go, bang on there. And test every single trailer that comes off the line to make sure that paint is proper every
So
time.
you know exactly if you have the right amount. So there is no guesswork. Did the right amount of paint get hit on this trailer?
That's correct.
You know exactly where you were able to control the quality coming straight out of it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Every time.
Understand it. But there's more to this too. Now, this is where it kind of leaves yours area and it goes to the finish.
Yeah,
right?
correct. Yeah.
And we're going to jump back to Trevor.
Absolutely.
You're going to take us through the final finish process. Is that right?
That's it.
All right.
This is where the rest of it happens.
So this is 3/4 inch plywood, and you use that on
Every trailer, doesn't matter if it's 5 feet wide or 8 feet wide. 3/4 inch plywood floor, 3/8 plywood on the walls, always. We talked about the enclosed wiring. Now in the finish area is where all of the tail lights and the interior lights are attached. You'll see that wood is going in. Then our smooth side, there's no screws, no rivets, all VHB bonded exteriors, and then a triple sealed roof, a one-piece aluminum roof on every trailer. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a very small trailer or a very expensive, all of them one-piece roof.
And so this is your finish zone area.
Yeah, we're finishing this trailer. So the inside, we see the walls are on, the floor is on, the floor tie downs, bolted through to that steel plate we saw just a few minutes ago. No screws, no rivets. We've added this little bit of plastic in here just to make sure that this is a clean surface just through the finish of this trailer. We apply this way back at the front just to make sure. Now some of the aluminum comes with plastic, some of the aluminum doesn't, and if it doesn't, we will put this on just to keep the finish perfect all the way through.
Okay, but now you guys also do something a little different, which I mean, some of this I don't know if I can include, but I'm going to talk about it right now with you. Behind us is a very cool thing that allows you guys to manufacture.
The decoiler?
Yeah. No, you guys can manufacture any color trailer immediately, right? You're not stuck doing
Sure,
one
well
thing
have a
or
look at
another
the
thing.
stand. Like over there is a 7 wide silver, then there's a 5 wide, here's a car hauler, and over there is a big commercial series, and they're lined up with different colors.
And it's because of this thing.
Right, we're not batch building here. We can decoil. So we can take the color coils off, cut them to length, and then put them onto the trailer as it's rolling through.
So one of your guys went to one of them big home improvement stores, seen one of them linoleum racks that you hit a button and all the linoleum comes out and said, build me an industrial size one of them. I mean, like legitimately, that's how you guys built that big thing right there.
Legit.
Which allows you guys to now go, we need 5 blues, we need 10 grays, we need 4 silvers.
That's it,
boom,
100%.
boom, 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 and we go.
Well, look down here, right behind me here. Silver, white, and then a black at the front. Like, this isn't batch processing, this isn't batch manufacturing where we're going to build 100 of the same trailer. We can mix and match. There's a pewter.
Everything from every side
Here's a white.
is built the same.
And here's a black.
But now, you're not even done there yet because you lift these suckers up into the air to finish them off.
Follow me through the roof bay.
Okay? Yeah. Oh, so you guys got your team of guys that come, these are your roof bays.
These are the roof bays.
So this is break. The reason we're not hearing loud sounds is because we strategically planned this to be able to take a break. But these guys, you custom built this and designed this to let these guys be able to get right access to those roofs and be able to see that at waist height. Right here. This is what these guys get to see. This is where this is their working area.
So this is our triple seal.
Yep.
This one piece of aluminum is nailed down, glued down to the tube that we saw.
Yep.
Then it's this piece here, this trim then is glued on as well, and then it's screwed down. And then this putty, the final piece on the top to get the nice drainage is on top of that. So I got 3 seals, nailed and screwed, and there's no screws on the exterior, so this can actually float. There can be a little bit of room for expansion
And then
and
you
contraction.
lift that son of a duck up into the air, and you finish it off. We're at the final step.
The very final step of this whole process. We put the roof on and everything. Now we're just going to finish. We're going to seal everything up. The last thing we do is we lift it up on a hoist so we can seal up the bottom. And Scott Saylor, one of the owners at SOUTHLAND, just wandered in at the very same time. So this is great, Scott.
Basically what we're trying to do here is seal off the bottom of the unit. Most manufacturers at this stage will just paint the wood and just to cover it up to say it's black and it's all black underneath. We take it a step further and we use an automotive style undercoating. We spray all the cracks and crevices to make sure it's almost double sealed, and then what that does as well is preserves the wood, protects the steel, and also gives you a little bit of like sound dampening technology too. So it's above and beyond process. We don't need to do it. We could just paint the floor black, and even the cross members underneath from the electrostatic process is all wrapped and coated, and then we double coat it to make sure it's all.
So you raise it all the way up so a guy can get right underneath there and just get her done. Okay.
Yeah, you bet.
And this is every trailer. It doesn't matter again which process. This isn't reserved for the Cadillac of the Southland trailer.
Right.
Every trailer, same process. You can actually see how well that's been painted here too. This one's painted really well. This one's painted kind of well. That one's got some good glue.
So this is a rubberized material. It's not just paint.
Correct. Yeah, you can see the goo and the thickness of it, right? And it's going to get in all those cracks and crevices and really seal it up. You're going down a gravel road, you have no dust or anything like that's going to be getting into your unit. Your cargo is going to be protected inside and out.
I suppose because you guys are in Canada and you got some of the saltiest, crappiest Canadian roads around. I mean, you guys got actually great roads, to be honest with you. I was very impressed with your roads. But you still got to seal them, right?
Yeah, you bet. So you can see just the thickness of it.
Yeah.
Your hand in that, it ain't coming off the base.
Right. All right, guys, here's a little bonus for you. Before we end this video, I'm guessing some of you want to see, do the doors open? Let's find out. But do they close? How about the back? Check inside, let's look around, see what we got. She looks good. Now let's see if this door will close. How old is this trailer, Trevor?
4, 5 years.
This actually is not even rental, it just goes out to your place. Your
All
place,
the staff can use it whenever they want.
whenever they want. So it's got probably 100,000+ miles on it, right?
It's got a lot on it, yeah.
So let's check her out real close. Let's just give her the once over. We got the floppy fender. We're gonna re-nickname this the floppy fender trailer until you guys fix that. But paint looks good, no dents, nothing. Give her a nice, good check over. And there you go. Everything opens, closes, and works like it should. All right, guys, the first thing I want to say is thanks to these guys. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Tyson, get in here. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Trevor.
It's a pleasure, man.
Here's the deal, you guys. I've been the first influencer that's ever been allowed to see behind the scenes at Southland. You guys have, this has been a tight-lipped operation intentionally. That's why if you guys have never heard of Southland Trailers, is because you guys wanted to fly under the radar until you decided you no longer wanted to fly under the radar, and I got to be the very first person, and you guys got to be the first people to see behind the scenes. seen. So I want to say thank you to that for you guys.
Yeah, Stan, thanks so much for taking the time to show up, to come all the way up. Welcome to Canada.
Hey, I came at the right time of the year at least, right?
That's nice. Thanks so much for being here, for taking the time, and for just putting the effort in. It's been fantastic, and we're we're big fans of your channel and really enjoy watching your stuff. It's good content.
All right, you guys, I want to say thank you to you guys for tuning in and checking it out. Now, wait a minute. If guys wanted to learn more about Southland, what would they do? How do they find out more about Southland Trailers? We never even mentioned that.
Yeah, www.southlandtrailers.com. Hit the website. There's a dealer locator on that where they can find any of the dealers that are closest to them, where they can make their purchase, make their selection, take home a trailer.
There you go. All right, you guys, that's it for this one. We got a lot more coming at you. There's more fun coming and more from Southland. I didn't fly I flew. I didn't fly all the way up to Canada to just do this. So we do have more coming, but I'm not going to tell you about it, but it's going to be some cool stuff. I promise you, cool stuff. That's it for this one. God bless. Go get them, you guys. We'll see you on another one.